What's going on, guys? Bank Rubber Games here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. And this is a video that was actually suggested by one of you guys down in the comments of a previous video on the channel. So thank you very much for your suggestion. You know who you are, and I just want you to know that I appreciate your continued support. It is really awesome whenever I get to hear from you, so thank you very much for that. But this is actually going to be a video highlighting some games that I've enjoyed playing off the channel this year, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about what my personal game of the year is, because there have been a lot of amazing games that have come out this year. I don't have walkthroughs for some of these games on the channel yet, but I still think they're worth highlighting here because I've really enjoyed going back to them and re-experiencing them. So let me know if you want to see any future series on any of the games shown in this video, so I can make sure to get them up on the channel for you guys as soon as possible and do a walkthrough for them. I also hope this video encourages you guys to play these games for yourself, either to re-experience them or to play them for the first time if you haven't played them before. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this video as it's something a little bit different for the channel, but thanks again to the person that suggested this video. I think it's a really awesome idea for the channel and the sort of channel I want to make. But without further ado, let's get on to the first game. The first game I want to take a look at is the most recent game I've started playing off the channel, which is Borderlands 3, which I decided to revisit after Jolt's dude uploaded a playthrough on YouTube a couple of months ago, in which he showcased some mods that help overcome Borderlands 3 weaker areas like story pacing. But when the game first came out, the meta and endgame shifted so quickly that I felt like there wasn't any time to really enjoy the content on offer. So now the game has been in its final form for a while, I decided to do a more relaxed playthrough where I complete all the side quests at my own pace without worrying about the endgame. And doing this has really let the gameplay shine as some of the best in the series in my opinion, and I would say it's definitely worth a revisit if you haven't played it for a while, especially with Borderlands 4 being right around the corner. Something else I want to point out is the sound design is also the best it's ever been, which really helps make the combat feel really satisfying. I still think the game tries a little bit too hard with the characters and humour in comparison to previous entries, and the villains are both a little bit disappointing in comparison to previous villains we've had in the series, the standout obviously being Handsome Jack. But other than that, there is still a lot of fun to be had with the almost limitless amount of content on offer with the main game, the DLCs and the 4 playable Vault Hunters. So I really recommend going back and playing Borderlands 3 if you haven't picked it up in a while, because you'd probably enjoy it a lot more than you'd remember.
What up? Take everything! Bring it, scrubs.
The flying meatball!
That easily. We're gonna sacrifice this heretic one way or another.
If these are my final moments, what have I left behind? 1,000 half-completed experiments, countless undiscovered artifacts and unanswered questions. I never found the Iridian homeworld, and now it appears I never will.
Incompetent sweat weasels. Every minute we aren't killing people, we lose 500,000 subscribers. Terror? Terror's giving me a great idea. Until we get the Agonizer 9000 working, we're gonna broadcast the Vault Thief while they murder our crew! How's that for entertainment, huh? Jump thief! some entrance music. Pick one. No refund. Bullets and bombs. Welcome to the greatest show on Pandora! Here's how you make an entrance. Viewers, comment on the stream and tell us how you want the vault thief to die. We got moderators standing by. Let's turn up the heat.
Vault Hunter, destroy that core! Trust me!
Laser!
This can't be true.
The next game I want to showcase is one that I feel has been overlooked or forgotten about by a lot of people, and that is The Surge 2. And it is a vastly improved sequel to the first game, so if you played The Surge 1 but wasn't the biggest fan of it, I'd still recommend giving The Surge 2 a go, because you might enjoy it a lot more. I did play this while waiting for the Shadow of the Erdtree to come out, as it is something that's quite a bit different from the rest of the Souls-like genre, and it does several things to make it stand out from the rest of the Souls-like genre, which is really, really cool. One of the ways that it differentiates itself from the rest of the Souls-like genre is by making the combat very unique, in that it gives you the ability to cut enemies' limbs and target the equipment or upgrade materials you receive. This also dynamically changes some boss battles, and also changes up certain enemies' attacks later on in the game, after parts of them are cut.
There's nothing left. Give up your weapon. Now.
You can see at the start of the game we don't have our exosuit, which is the main selling point of the combat, but it is only for this first part of the tutorial level. You'll see we'll be able to get it very soon.
Fresh meat!
The combat also encourages you to do different combinations of R1 and R2 attacks, or vertical and horizontal attacks, to make the most out of different weapons movesets and do certain combos which are more powerful in different situations.
You! Please, you gotta let me out. I'm not a criminal. Just an average Joe.
Can anyone hear me? This is Garcia speaking. The creature has made its way to the maximum security
You can see here we have a mini boss battle against the guy that is in an exo rig, so we have to be very, very careful because he'll be able to flatten us like a pancake. But talking about boss battles, the game gives you unique rewards for completing hidden kill conditions when taking them out, which I think is a really cool feature and very unique, and it's also a feature that I wish more games in general included. The boss music is always pretty good as well. Here we get our exo rig,
Welcome, Officer Johnson.
and it immediately alters the combat by allowing us to level up our stats, but also giving us the ability to cut enemies' limbs.
Rig installation complete. Have a
And you can
nice
see
day,
there,
officer.
you can target enemies' limbs in order to determine what loot you get, which allows you to much more directly affect how your character improves throughout the game.
To mitigate the spread of a lethal nanite plague known as defrag, government forces have been working around the clock to evacuate one district after another.
So here we have got our first boss battle, and moving into the arena, you'll notice the boss music. Like I said, it always tends to be pretty good. And like I mentioned before, different bosses have hidden kill conditions, which allow you to get more unique loot after defeating them. So with this warden here, we have to do enough damage to his arm that holds his weapon in order to cut it off, and then we get his boss weapon rather than a downgraded version of it. Really good skill test, this boss. Gives you a good chance to practice parrying, but then you also have to be careful of that drone that you can send out, and as it can do a lot of damage to you. And you can see that we did manage to get the Jackknife Pro, which is for completing the hidden kill condition, along with getting a new drone that we can use throughout the game and equip with different abilities as another area to customise your loadout.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna stay around to find out where it came from.
Don't be such a coward! Nobody's gonna piss on our parade!
You might notice this nanite technology, which is something we'll see throughout the entirety of the game.
Can I get my toy, please? Oh, right. Sorry. I'm Athena. Athena Gutenberg. Can you hear me? Go.
Moving on a little bit, you can see we've now set ourselves up with a full loadout of gear, including some new weapons. Something I wanted to point out before moving on is a really cool feature that Surge 2 had, which is the multiplayer integration. You could leave banners of your own player characters and then let other players find them. The less people that found them after a given time, the more scrap you'd be rewarded with. It's a really cool feature. And you can see, even though we've got a full loadout now, some of the even the more basic enemies do still pose quite a threat to us. So I'm going to leave you with the rest of this gameplay, but if you like the Souls genre and you fancy something a little bit different, hopefully you'll be able to see why I'd recommend giving The Surge 2 a try.
You can run, little girl. You sure as hell can't hide. That's it, kid. It's over. You're coming with us. Wait, what is she doing? Hurry up and grab her! No, that's impossible. Ah!
The next game is a little different from what I usually enjoy playing, and is one that I feel like a lot of you might have missed, and that is Rebel Galaxy. It does come with a caveat that one of the best features of the game is its soundtrack, which I can't show on YouTube unfortunately, but you can also set your own soundtrack if you fancy listening to something a little different as you venture around the galaxy.
Accelerating to sublight. Sublight boosters depleted. Exiting sublight. Collision warning. Missiles inbound. Deflectors depleted.
You sure pulled my ass out of the fire. You got my thanks.
Healing.
What can I help you with? Yeah, we can do business. What'd you have in mind? Pleasure doing business. Yeah, we can do business.
I really find this to be a relaxing game that can be tackled at your own pace, which is ideal if you don't have long to play, or if you'd prefer, you can fully engage in all the game's mechanics to speed up your ability to earn money and upgrade and customise all the different aspects of the many ships available for purchase. But with those upgrades, there is a strong sense of progression with each playthrough, where at the start you are very weak and have to be very careful about your loadout and also your positioning in comparison to the enemy ships, but after a few upgrades you can take out the same enemies with ease that posed a great threat before. Other than combat, there are many other things to do, like trading in the stock market at different stations, rescuing NPCs, completing side quests for factions, or even trying a bit of piracy in dynamic maps that have you wondering what you'll run into next. It's definitely not a perfect game, but if you fancy something a bit more simple that you can pick up and play freely, I suggest giving Rebel Galaxy a go.
Accelerating to sublight. Broadsides. Exiting sublight. Engines at maximum. Collision warning. Sublight boosters depleted. Full stop. Mining turret. Exiting sublight. Broadsides. Pulse turret. Scanner. Broadsides. Full stop. Threat level 1.
You look lost, mate.
Incoming hail. Hailing.
Well, well, look what we have here. Juicy pickings. Sure, there's no...
Engines at maximum. Missiles inbound. Mission complete. Threat level yellow. Missiles inbound.
Son of a...
Mission complete. Close turret. Mining turret. Weapon overheating. Emergency reload. Broadsides. Collision warning. Accelerating to sublight.
So here we're much further on in the game and we've got a much more advanced ship with much better equipment. And here we're going to be doing one of the main missions where we take out an inactive enemy dreadnought, and hopefully with our upgraded ship we'll be able to do it before they become active and can fire back at us. But we've also been told that there's potentially a lot of items in the area that we can pick up, and these are most likely going to be resources that we can trade in the stock market, but there is a chance that we could get lucky and pick up a ship upgrade or two.
Exiting sublight. Threat level orange. Craft inbound.
It's over for you, mate.
There you are. I brought a few friends of my own to lend a hand. See it up ahead? The good news is she's totally inert. No power signature. Let's take advantage of that.
Scanner. Scanning.
And here's the deactivated enemy ship, and we're going to focus on that before it comes
Signs of
back
life
online.
already. They're starting to spin this thing up. Pick off as many turrets as you can before they come online.
Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Engines are no longer impaired. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired.
Turrets are active. It's only a matter of time before she's level 2.
Missiles inbound.
It's over for you, mate.
Scanner. Scanning.
There she goes. Down for the count.
We're just going to let the rest of this mission play out as we take out the remaining enemies and also get our well-earned loot.
Let's take care of the rest of this stuff.
Missiles inbound. Scanning. Scanning. Engines impaired. Engines are no longer impaired. Collision warning. Enemy craft inbound.
They're calling in reinforcements. Watch your back.
Scanner. Scanning. Threat level yellow. Engines at maximum. Craft inbound.
Looks like we're getting a little help of our own. A militia frigate is warping in now.
Threat level orange. Threat level blue. Scanner. Scanning. Scanner. Scanning. Collision warning. Sublight boosters depleted. Scanner. Scanning.
This isn't the end of me!
Accelerating to sublight.
Nice work. Feel free to scavenge what you can from these containers. Some good stuff in there from the look of it. As always, it's been a pleasure. Out.
Mission complete. Accelerating to sublight. Sublight boosters depleted.
Next is a series that you guys would have seen on the channel before, but this time it's a little bit different, and it's the OpenGOAL Jak PC port. This is a fan-made port of Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, and it's really awesome because it allows playing the game at higher resolutions than ever before, with many quality of life features. Because it's a native PC port, it's also very easy to download different mods that range from texture packs to new levels, or even some things that make the game more challenging in different ways. There are also plans to make ports of Jak 2 and Jak 3 in the future, with Jak 2 almost being completed and ready to be released fully from beta, keeping this series alive and easily enjoyable for years to come. To fully understand what a monumental achievement this is, with how the original games were coded on the PS2, I will have a video linked down in the description going into more detail about the port and the sort of work that has gone into something like this. Overall, the games available at the moment are just as enjoyable as ever, and I would say the OpenGOAL PC port is without question the definitive way to play them, so check it out if you're interested, as it's very easy to set up.
You found one of my scout flies. I sent 7 of them to each area to look for power cells, but the lurkers must have captured them all. Wow! That last scout fly had a power cell. I'll bet if you collect all 7 in each area, you can find even more power cells.
That's Blue Eco, which contains the energy of motion. Blue Eco allows you to run fast, break boxes, and even activate some precursor artifacts when you get near them.
Here playing Jak 1, you might notice that textures are a lot higher resolution, and that is because I'm using a texture pack, which again is very easy to install, and it really helps make the game look awesome on the OpenGOAL port.
Increases the time you can use its power.
Do you remember how to jump?
And as I said before, they're not just releasing a fan port of Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, they're also carrying on with the rest of the series on PS2, and although Jak 2 is still in beta, it's very close to being released, so it can be enjoyed from beginning to end. I haven't found any mods yet to update the textures for Jak 2, but I was planning on doing a walkthrough for it on the channel after it's reached full release, and I've also found a texture mod that I feel does the game justice. Even without using any texture mods, you can see that the game still looks brilliant, with the ability to natively upscale it due to it being a ground up PC port rather than just emulating the original game. If Jak 2 is completed to the same standard as the port of Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, then we'll have another definitive way of experiencing these games and keeping them alive for a long time to come. And I'm looking forward to the Jak 3 PC port further in the future. I'm just going to let the rest of this level play out, but it's a potential glimpse of what could be coming to the channel in the future.
We're beginning our sweep.
Good job! The crate had a health pack inside. Pick it up. You'll want to keep healthy, Jak, or who'll do the fighting?
Surrender yourself. You are under arrest.
We're taking heavy fire! We're taking heavy cat!
You can get a longer jump by rolling into it.
We have movement on level 1. Flank him. There he is! Open fire! Prisoner sighted! We got him! Go! Prisoner on level 2!
If you jumped and dived, you'll crash down to the ground hard enough to break lots of things. Breaking stuff's fun, right?
I've been on duty for 2 days straight. Don't complain. I got sewer patrol next week. Ah, you poor bastard. Give it up, outlaw! This guy knows how to fight.
There is no escape.
We're free, Jack! Thanks to me. Nice to breathe some fresh air, huh? We'll get that Baron Praxis guy, all right.
Hello, strangers. My name is Core. May I help?
You look like a reasonably smart man. I want information. Where the hell am I?
Sorry. He's new to the whole conversation thing.
Well, my angry young friend, you are a guest of His Majesty Baron Praxis, the ruler of glorious Haven City.
I was just a guest in the good Baron's prison.
Inside a cell or inside the city, walls surround us both. We are all his prisoners. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'd move on if I were you.
By order of His Eminence, the Grand Protector of Haven City, Baron Praxis, everyone in this section is hereby under arrest for suspicion of harboring underground fugitives. Surrender and die!
Excuse me, sir. Don't you mean surrender or die?
Not in this city. Protect us from these guards, and I'll introduce you to someone who can help you.
Suspect on foot! After him! Shoot that thing! Shoot it! What's he doing? It's the... Here's some... Over!
Sound the alarm!
That was cool! Do it again.
Something's...
So that is all the games that I've enjoyed playing off channel when I haven't been making content for you guys. But I also wanted to have a quick mention of my favourite games I've played on the channel this year before talking about my personal game of the year. We started the year with a bang, continuing our Armored Core 6 playthrough, which was a return to form for the Armored Core series and blew away even my high expectations. Some other standouts this year were finishing the Ratchet & Clank PS2 series up until Ratchet Deadlocked or Ratchet Gladiator. I also enjoyed revisiting Dead Space 2 and Rage, as two games I feel that are often overlooked, but personally I'll never get tired of playing both of them as they both have incredibly satisfying combat and incredible atmospheres. Then obviously we ended the year with Elden Ring and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which has offered up some of the biggest challenges from any of the Souls series yet. And although not revolutionary to the game, it is more fantastic content adding to this already vast game. But now it's time for my personal game of the year, which has got to be Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. After being a massive fan of the original game, which to me is one of the best action games set in the 40k universe, I've waited a very long time for the sequel after the cliffhanger the story got left on and the promise of a follow-up. So it's fair to say that I was very happy when Space Marine 2 got announced, and I feel like it fulfilled the promise of the original game in showcasing the sheer scale and horror of the 40k universe, while also harking back to the 360 and PS3 era of games that were just made to be as fun as possible. Graphically, the game is an absolute powerhouse and is a technical marvel with the scale of the environments along with the number of enemies shown on screen at once without any performance drop. And I feel like this really needs to be celebrated, as it is a standout to other games that have released in recent years that have been very poorly optimised. But also for me, it is the first truly next-gen feeling game where it could be created without limits. The game also does an amazing job at reflecting the art direction of the 40,000 universe, and along with the characters, it really helps immerse the player in the world. Although I think the first game was much more focused on being a true single player experience, there is no denying that the story and gameplay, although not revolutionary, are definitely phenomenal and just go really hard. Between the over-the-top set pieces and story points to the more intimate moments of character dialogue and development, there is something for everyone, and results in the game having superb pacing that is unmatched by anything else I've played this year. So for these reasons, Space Marine 2 is my personal game of the year, and I highly recommend you guys checking it out for yourselves if you haven't already, either by watching the playthrough that's on the channel, or by purchasing the game for yourself and getting to enjoy it firsthand.
Very good.
Vile sons of nuts! Is he here?
He is not.
Pity. Then my hatred must be directed at his minions.
That's just my personal game of the year, but what about you guys? Let me know what games you've enjoyed most this year and what was your favourite series on the channel. I feel like we've played a good variety of games this year, so let me know what you enjoyed most. I also want to say a massive thank you for all the support on the channel this year. Your comments and feedback really means a lot, and it's always good hearing from both longer time viewers and newcomers alike. You guys are all awesome. The general talk about games and your theories or interesting story points you notice and enthusiasm for games is really cool to see, as well as something I really hoped would happen with the channel, so keep it up. I really enjoy talking about games with you. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know it's something a little bit different, but I think it was quite fun looking back on the previous year, and thanks again to the person that suggested the video. It's a really good fit for the channel, and your continued support is really awesome and means a lot. But thanks again for watching, and make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss what's coming next year, and I'll catch you guys in 2025 when we cover more awesome games.